Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. There's some new music that I want to talk about. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the actress and singer Ryan Destiny because she just dropped her new single called How Many, and I really like the song. I love the video and the choreography. The video was super simple but still captivating, and her choreography was just amazing. Ryan Destiny is super talented, and I've always wanted her to thrive in music because she is a really good singer and performer. I remember when she was a part of the girl group Love Dollhouse, and Love Dollhouse had a lot of potential, but unfortunately they were signed to Russell Simmons, and Russell Simmons got himself into a whole heap of trouble when he was accused of allegedly sexually assaulting multiple women, and he fled the country to avoid those charges, allegedly. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother video. After Russell Simmons went down, the group Love Dollhouse went down as well. But since then, Ryan has kind of moved in towards the acting realm. She starred in shows like Star, and she's been booked in a few movies. So she's kind of doing her thing when it comes to acting, but singing has always been kind of a fickle thing with her. She would release a song here and there, but she doesn't really have a lot of support for her music. I think people look at her as more of an actress, but Ryan Destiny is very much a singer and she's very talented. So check out some of her songs if you get a chance. Also, I want to give another shout out to an artist named Adanna Duru. She released this song called Pop, and I came across this song probably a week ago, and I am obsessed with this song. I love it. It's kind of like an R&B infused Afrobeat song, but it's very catchy and I really like it. I hope the song becomes more popular because it sounds like a hit to me, honestly. But shout out to Adanna and shout out to Ryan Destiny. I wish these ladies much success in music. Now moving on to the next topic. Now SZA finally released her long-awaited sophomore album, SOS. This has been a long time coming. Fans have been waiting for 5 years, and now it's here. SZA released her debut album, Control, 5 years ago, and it really changed the scope and even the sound of R&B. SZA was super raw and unfiltered about her insecurities and her relationship issues on Control. And I think SZA just kind of came through and inspired a whole generation of R&B singers. I always say to myself, SZA is honestly one of the most influential artists of her generation because a lot of R&B singers, especially female R&B singers, have clearly been inspired by her sound, her singing style, her flows, her cadences, everything. And I've been wanting to say that for a while now, but SZA definitely deserves her flowers. Now, let's get into her second album, SOS. What did I feel about it? Well, I liked it. I feel like it was somewhat of an extension of Control, but I like some of the different sonics on the album. Of course, SZA's forte is really that alternative R&B sound, but some songs on there were pure hip hop. There was a few acoustics, and one song on there, F2F, is actually a rock song, and I was pleasantly surprised by that. So she did bring something different with this album. One of my favorite songs on there is Kill Bill. It's definitely given me ID Channel Snapped vibes. She was coming across as possessive and obsessive, and she was mad that her ex moved on and found himself another girl, and being the scorned lover that she is, she wanted to off him and his girl. And throughout the album, you're going to hear several songs where she has this love-hate relationship with her ex. Also, another song I really liked was Seek and Destroy. I actually love this song. I love how catchy the melody was. And also Blind. Blind is a very vulnerable and honest song, and SZA's pen is insane. Like, she just has a way with words. She has clever wordplay, but she also knows how to expose herself and her flaws. She's a really good writer. She really is. Also, she had some songs where she was really expressing a lot of her fears and anxiety and just the pressure that she's dealing with. And she kind of needs that consolation. She needs her man to get her and understand her. But a lot of times she just feels alone. And some of those songs that convey that is Gone Girl. I love Gone Girl. Also, Ghost in the Machine featuring Phoebe Bridgers is another one that kind of touches on that. And lastly, Nobody Gets Me. I like Nobody Gets Me as well. It kind of sounds like a Taylor Swift song. I'm not gonna lie. SZA was definitely giving Taylor Swift with this song, but I think songs like this is the perfect bait to reel in her pop audience. SZA already has a pretty broad fan base. I think she's more locked in with the R&B and hipster crowd, but she definitely won over the pop crowd in the past couple of years, so this is kind of her way of drawing them in even more. Also, I loved her song Too Late, and of course I liked all of the singles that she released so far, but I was pretty disappointed that she didn't add Hit Different. I feel like she definitely should have included Hit Different on this album, but maybe she will add it on the deluxe, who knows. Lastly, the song that I loved the most was Open Arms featuring Travis Scott. The chemistry between SZA and Travis is amazing. They really do make magic together. Even their song Low sounded like a bop. It's something that will be played all over the clubs, but Open Arms in particular was the song I loved the most. Even after all the things SZA's man put her through, all the times he made her feel insecure and small, and all the times he cheated on her, she is still willing to accept him with open arms. I mean, talk about the toxicity. But the song sounded so beautiful and I loved it. And I thought Travis sounded great on this song as well. I just love their chemistry. Like, they never go wrong when they're together. Overall, I definitely give this album a thumbs up. It's going to take me a few more listens to really digest it and get a good impression. But based off of the first listen, I do think it's a solid body of work. My only critique is the album is too long. I do feel like she could have condensed it a bit more because there are some songs that didn't necessarily need to be on there. And it's not like they were bad songs, but it sounded more like album fillers. But the album is already filled with a lot of gems, so I think she kind of went overboard with the track listing. But I understand that might have been the label's decision to make her add as much songs as possible because they want more streams for the album. So I get it, but I would have preferred if it were shorter. But overall, I do like this album a lot, and I was a little sad to hear that this might be SZA's last album. I don't believe that this will be her last album, but I do believe it will be her last project in a while. You know, I was listening to an interview that SZA did recently with Nessa on Hot 97, and she just kind of seems like she's over it. She's over the pressure and just the industry as a whole. So I definitely can see her taking a hiatus, but I don't think she's gonna stop making music altogether. I don't. Now, moving on, I want to talk about Saweetie. Now, Saweetie has been getting a lot of backlash in the media after her EP, The Single Life, sold only 2,000 units in the first week. Now, when I heard the report on this, I did find it odd that people were bringing up sales because, for one, The Single Life didn't even come off as an official project to me. It was more like a 6-song mixtape, and she didn't promote it. She just dropped it out of the blue. So the fact that people were having these narratives and discussions about her sales was a little weird to me because I was like, who cares? But apparently there was somebody who was paying the blogs to post about her sales. So somebody in the industry is trying to tarnish Saweetie.
And I know y'all heard the rumor about the 2K. Somebody actually paid the blogs to do that. So shout out to them for spending money on me. But I wanted to give y'all my music without the visuals because I just thought that it was a great, public messaging. And I see y'all little chicken heads on live talking about 2K and who you dissing and whoopty whoopty whoop. Ain't nobody dissing nobody. This first EP of this era meant so much to me because it wasn't about partying. It wasn't about charting. Because it was about me getting my message across. It was an overall experience of me being single for the past year and a half. So that's why I said ain't no disses.
So that's what Saweetie said in response to the criticism about her album. And she also made it clear that she wasn't dissing anybody because people were accusing her of coming at Quavo from the Migos. And people felt like the timing was bad because he just lost his nephew Takeoff. But I listened to it myself and nowhere on the EP did I feel like she was talking about Quavo. I kind of felt like she was throwing shots at Lil Baby, but that's just me. She said that she wasn't talking about anybody though, so who knows? But anyway, it's clear that somebody in the industry is after Saweetie. I think a lot of the negative headlines about her recently is not a coincidence. It just makes you wonder why somebody would go out of their way to pay blogs to talk about her. But Saweetie just has to lift her head up and keep moving forward. Also, I hope Saweetie listens to some of the critiques, because not all of the criticism that she's been getting is completely negative. I think some of the critiques are constructive. So I hope she's taking all of that into consideration and finding ways to improve, because that's the only way people will take her seriously as an artist. Saweetie needs to make changes in her musical direction and her overall image. She just needs to make better music, and she needs a good writing team and production team to help her do that. One of the things Saweetie should have done is she should have released a project right after her smash hit song Best Friend dropped. I think she should have followed it up with a strong single as well. She has this one song called Get It Girl, and unfortunately she gave it away to the Insecure soundtrack, but I wish she would have kept it, because it would have been a really cute single for her, and it kind of falls in line with her original Icy Girl sound. Unfortunately, Saweetie doesn't have a good ear for music, and this is why she needs some people around her to be honest with her and tell her what works, because a lot of her music has been a hit or miss. So people are not really interested. They're not interested in what she's putting out. They're not even interested in this whole ratchet image that she's trying to portray either, because they feel like it's not true to her. So she definitely needs to switch that up and also get back to her roots. Get back to that Icy Girl sound that she started out with. Now, moving on to the last topic, Cardi B was on Instagram Live the other day, and she said that she was anxious to release new music, and people wonder if she's scared to drop her second album.
I know y'all been saying, oh, that I gotta drop this album, that I've been lacking, I've been whatever, this and that. I ain't even gonna front to y'all. I ain't even gonna front of y'all. I'm gonna have to be real with myself, and I'm gonna have to be real with y'all. I feel like I have gotten too comfortable. Because I'm just a mom. Because I'm just like a mom. And I do have anxiety. I've been having a lot of anxiety because I know right after I drop my album, I have to go on tour. And I have like bad separation anxiety from my kids. And it's like a balance. And then like when it comes to music and everything, I just be feeling like I don't be liking anything. I feel like I got so many songs and I just don't like nothing. I feel like nothing is good enough. And yeah. And I got so much fucking money saved up that I just be like, yeah, whatever the fuck. Making music to me has become like a job that gives me anxiety, because everybody just critique everything that I do. That is just like, sometimes you just don't want to do something that makes you feel, that give you that much anxiety. So I just be like, freezing myself. But I have to let that go. I have to release more music. And I have to just go out there.
Now, Cardi listed a few reasons why she's scared to drop music. For one, she's anxious that people won't like it. She's anxious about the critiques. She's also anxious about having to go on tour and being separated from her children, which is understandable. And she's not satisfied with the music that she's been hearing or making. Now, one thing that Cardi is failing to mention is there is a huge pressure on her to live up to the success of her Invasion of Privacy album. Now, she released Invasion of Privacy about 4 going on 5 years ago, and the album did very well. It had several smash hit songs, and now there is an expectation for her to have similar success with her second album. Cardi is not the only artist who goes through this. In fact, SZA herself talked about the pressure of having to release an album that lives up to her Control album. So this is something that a lot of artists go through, and the labels put the pressure on them to deliver. Now with Cardi, she doesn't have to worry so much about the creative process like SZA does, because she doesn't write her music. A lot of the music is given to her. However, she has to pick the right songs, and she is expected to deliver a big hit. Once she gets a hit song, then she could release an album, and after that she has to go on tour. And Atlantic has been waiting for her to go on tour because they want a return on their investment. Cardi has been costing them more money than they want to spend, and they want their money back because they have been investing a lot into her. She's a high maintenance artist, and she's not the type who could drop a single without a big budget behind her. She needs the big budget videos, she needs the radio push and the playlisting placements and the heavy promotion. So she's a very expensive music act, and the label wants her to go on tour so they could get their money back. But Cardi has been kind of dragging her feet to do it. And it would have been a good time for her to release her second album after she released her hits like WAP and Up, but she got pregnant and she had to take some time off to focus on her baby. After that, she did come back with another single called Hot-ish, which features Kanye West and Lil Durk. Now, this single failed to make any real noise and it underperformed, at least for the label and Cardi's expectations. And the fact that a single like this underperformed is quite concerning for Cardi B, because are people interested in new music from her? Are they going to receive her music the same way they received some of her previous music? Those are the questions to be asked. And personally, I think she's just afraid to fail. But she definitely has to release some music sometime in the future because Atlantic wants their money back. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.